Hi, I'm Douglas Saunders. This is my 2008 GX470, and you're watching ANSWRD. This car is the perfect product of COVID-19. The lease on my daily driver ended just as the pandemic lockdown started. And funny enough, I've had a wide variety of vehicles, everything from sports cars, exotic, a wide variety. And so my friends were a little weirded out when I had a desire for a 12-year-old mom-mobile. And it's because maybe 5 years ago, I saw a few guys that had done some really awesome builds, Overland builds on GX470s, and I really fell in love with it. And before I got my last vehicle, I was thinking, maybe I'll get one. It wouldn't take much to build it up how I wanted. But, you know, my friends discouraged me. They said, why would you want this mom-mobile, so silly? And I just waited. And then my lease ended for my daily driver right when the pandemic started, and I took time to assess what I wanted. And I really wanted something wacky and different. And behold, it's a very wacky and different SUV. Dog, hauler, camera gear carrier, does everything. Favorite part of the GX? Oh man, it's generally its personality. At its core, it's a Land Cruiser, super reliable, extremely capable off-road, and it's got a lot of guts, like me. Probably the least favorite thing or things about this car and most GXs is the gas mileage is atrocious, and the radio. If you know anything about older GXs, they have most of them are a navigation and climate control system built into one touchscreen, and it makes it really hard for you to update it. And they didn't really have proper Bluetooth, so if you want to run your Spotify, all you could do is through an aux cable or run through the tape deck, which is not ideal, especially for somebody that really loves music. So I had to rip it out, and they offer this really shady, they call it a Tesla screen, and you can order it off Alibaba, and there's a couple other sources. It looks really cool, it's touchscreen. In all honesty, it's super laggy, slow, looks cool, has a lot of quirks and glitches, and I'm probably gonna go back to my stock radio and just add a Bluetooth module, which I researched, and get rid of the fancy stuff. Other than that, I don't know, pretty solid for the money. Great bang for the buck, this wonderful truck. Okay, so as I mentioned before, GX stock is kind of a boring looking vehicle, although very capable. So with some really fun upgrades, you can make it truly unique, and it doesn't cost a lot. So one of the first things that I did was a high clearance off-road bumper. Really changes the whole look of the vehicle. I got a lot of compliments on it. This is by Coastal Off-Road. It's a kit that you can order for like half the price of an average bumper and weld it yourself. I don't know how to weld, so my good friend from high school and amazing fabricator Tim Harney welded it for me. We added a little bit of touches that made it our own, and added some Hella driving lights with daytime running LEDs. Pretty cheap lights, but super capable. I think these guys are like 150 bucks, and they're very powerful. The headlights have a tendency to fog in these old Toyotas, so rather than trying to buff it out and try and add a clear coat, just bought a new pair of sports headlights, which are a little darker than the standard stock headlights, and really complements the vehicle well. One of the other key things, this is the first thing you should do if you get one of these, is lift it and better tires. So we put a 2-inch Old Man Emu lift and KO2 tires. And thanks to my friends over at Fuel, oh look, there's a dog. Thanks to my friends over at Fuel Off-Road, I love these Fuel Shock D666 rims. They're 17x9, and I don't know if I mentioned, the tires are 33-inch. Oh, and I have, I like a little bit of poke, a little bit of wide stance, so I have 1 1/4 inch Spider Track spacers on here. Took a little bit of cutting so my tires didn't rub, but totally worth it, looks great. Definitely next, they're all back ordered, is sliders for off-roading. We cut off the side steps because they look really dumb and they hang really low and they clear your clearance. So you just hack them off and then gonna weld in new sliders. And then a really important upgrade. This is Emma the Pitbull. She's my co-pilot, a little bit of a backseat driver. She's a street dog from Georgia. We've been together 10 years. Emma, you having fun back here? Yep, she always has fun. She knows how to party. And that's it. Gonna do a roof rack pretty soon. Again, so many people are overlanding right now. They're all back ordered, but soon there will be a roof rack up there and a tent. And oh, also the stock exhaust on this V8 engine is pretty boring sounding. And I don't want to be obnoxious, but if I'm gonna have a big V8, might as well enjoy it a little bit. So Flowmaster offers something around $100 for a new muffler, and just weld it in, and it totally changes the personality of the engine sound without being too loud or obnoxious for your neighbors. Oh man, wild card. Personality on this vehicle. It's, man, that's tough. I'm an 80s kid, so I try and think of like one of my favorite 80s cartoons, but it's almost like the Incredible Hulk, I would say, because at its heart, you look at it, you're like, yeah, it's kind of like a nerdy, big butt, bulbous Starbucks mobile, and then in the end, you know, with just a few modest tweaks, it can literally crawl over anything, tow anything, whatever. It's a monster with just a little bit of love. So what's really interesting, you know, coming from owning, I've had Audis and Mercedes and Land Rovers, you know, a wide variety of really cool European cars. This is my first Toyota. And again, you know, my friends who know the vehicles I've had in the past wondered why I'd want this mom mobile. The joke is that you're going to go buy Starbucks in it. But what happened is the dealership I bought this from, I found the perfect clean West Coast GX, spotless underneath, well-maintained, previously a certified pre-owned. In the last 3 months, because overlanding and outdoor exploring is so big, the price on these have shot up like 4 or 5 grand on an equivalent vehicle. They're shooting up big time, and there's a big enthusiast community because people realized you can get these cheaper than an equivalent 4Runner. It has a V8, and it's just as capable as a Land Cruiser or a well-equipped 4Runner. It's awesome. So yeah, I mean, for the confusion, you're like, why would you want one of these? But man, put a lift on it, a set of tires, it can go anywhere.